You told me.
That's in case you spin the block.
Right, just in case.
Just in case it's a Friday.
When I say I took notes, I think I even saved that video on my phone.
That's when he was like,
I will not be this man.
This is my shit. And I think what that allows
That's a
me.
corporate Steve feature in Outchea podcast.
literally.
All right. Yo, my people, welcome back to another episode of the Outchea podcast. I'm your host, Jay to the Izzo, and I'm joined by
Mids MB, what we saying, guys? How you guys
got a
been?
special guest in the building.
Yes, sir. Special guest.
He might land you a very good job.
Very good job, do you know what I mean?
He might get you a pay rise.
Don't talk me up too much,
He
guys.
might make sure your manager doesn't take you for an idiot.
Exactly. He's going to tell you how to navigate your way through the corporate world and make bank.
Yes, sir.
There's
Yes,
No
sir.
one
Yes,
other
sir.
than Corporate Steve. Thank you for joining us, my bro.
Thank you for inviting me, man. Thank you for inviting me.
Hey, man.
Steve in the house.
Cool what's been coming. But obviously, we're going to start the show some hit blunts. So, Jude, I'll explain what it is. and
So
you can
these are
use
just
them
some statements / questions to get you thinking.
I'm gonna get cancelled.
No, don't worry, it's
out.
not bad.
No, like that.
It's not bad. But yeah. Nah, this week's match is calm.
Alright, fair
Yeah,
enough.
just to get you thinking. Just say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Alright,
Even if it's dumb, if you convince us.
If you get all three, like, correct or convince us well enough.
what? There's a correct. There's a right or wrong.
It's weird. Sometimes it is.
Sometimes it's the right
isn't.
answer, sometimes it's not. But if you convince us that your way of thinking is right,
Yeah.
Okay.
3 times in a row, you get a prize.
I'll bet.
Alright,
Alright,
cool.
bet,
The
bet,
first one is when you bury your feet in the sand at the beach, you're briefly wearing the earth as a shoe.
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
When you bury your feet in the sand at the beach, you're briefly wearing the earth as a shoe.
No, you're not.
No.
I'm gonna let Steve answer first. I'm gonna let Steve answer first, and then I'm gonna get my answer.
I mean, unless you're like, nah, sorry, Steve, go ahead.
Nah, I hear it, to be honest, because you know when they talk about having your feet on the ground, like your bare feet on the ground,
Yeah.
they talk about basically having your bare feet on the ground to like feel the earth.
Yeah.
So if you have your feet buried underground per se,
Yeah.
then you are briefly buried underneath the earth for a quick sec.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes absolute sense.
The reason I said no is because sand. If you had said if you had buried your feet in the mud, I could hear it because it's literally.
Nah,
like
bro, I'm
soil.
not gonna lie to you. You're not gonna know over that. I
What
can't
do you
lie.
mean? No, but like soil, they literally call it earth. Do you get it? So you're.
No.
What?
The reason why I say no is because like you can't make that distinction between like mud, soil and thing. The ground is the ground, bro,
Yeah.
and the ground is universally considered as earth. So sand, ground.
Yeah, why are you trying to discriminate against sand? Like,
It's
your agenda.
Cancelled.
Niggas say colorism, yeah?
all the sad people, I guess.
Alright, but it's a genuine question, yeah? And I'm not saying this to sound dumb or to sound whatever. It's a genuine.
Are you gonna diss Algerians or something?
How did we get to Algerian?
They have the big, like, the Sahara Desert, 80%.
Oh,
Yeah.
nah,
I thought you were gonna just diss the whole
Nah,
country. That's
nah,
how you do it.
Nah, not today. I was gonna say, what do you think is at the bottom of like the ocean, like the ocean bed? Is it sand or do you think it's like a mud type of?
I don't think we know because
Are we doing geography or like? Are you...
I don't think we know.
I don't know.
The reason why I say we
do you
don't
want me
think
to
we
get into
know
my
is
conspiracy bag or like?
no, but the reason why I say we don't know is because half of the ocean hasn't even been like discovered yet. So we
Exactly.
can never know though.
Because like because technically, okay, no, nothing. No, I'm gonna sound crazy if I go down this route.
No, because the reason why I think like you're overcomplicating it because then you're starting to go like really, really deep. Half the ocean hasn't been discovered yet. That's still always going to be a mystery.
Yeah.
But as of this day and age, currently speaking, the ground, universally speaking, is referred to anywhere we can place our feet on.
Yeah.
If we go to the beach, sand, ground,
Yeah.
we refer to it as the earth.
I hear that. All I'm gonna say is River Thames. There's definitely mud underneath there because there's no way that water's that brown and they're telling me there's sand underneath. I've seen sand before. I've never
Fair
seen sand
enough.
that dirty.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like,
Fair enough.
Yeah, go on to the next one, bro.
Next
hear
one. Cool. As we grow older, our phone contact list becomes a graveyard of contact info of family and friends from the past that have grown apart from us.
Sorry, repeat that again.
As we grow older, our contact list in our phone
Yeah.
just becomes a bunch of people that we don't really speak to as much as like we used to, or Like, think about, like, if you go through your contact list now, like, you see a lot of names, you'll be like, damn,
Yeah.
I haven't spoken to you in a while, probably will never speak to you again. Like,
No, yeah, that's facts though. That's facts. I feel like this, it wasn't even as I grow older thing. From college, bro.
I'm gonna say last week.
From college, I used to think, why the hell do I have so many numbers? Like, it was just weird to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely resonate with that one. I just think, as you go through it, I just think now, and even now, like even when I'm out and about, I don't know about you guys, but I rarely give out my number too tough.
Yeah, now it stops.
Because it's just like it's not really
necessary.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's usually like
because I feel. Do you know what it is? I feel like because the process to deleting a number is so much longer. Because and the reason I say this is because I did it the other day. You have to go onto the contact, go into info.
Yeah, it's quite wild,
all the way down to the bottom and then click delete.
Yeah.
Whereas on Insta, you can just do unfollow.
You have to really not like this person.
The only time I'd be deleting contacts if it's like an ex or something. We don't talk anymore, and it's like and even that is like
is that really necessary?
What to delete?
Not necessary, but it's like
depending on the context of the breakup, innit?
Okay,
if it's like a bad breakup and you're just like you don't really want to talk to this person anymore, then but if it's just
number I would, and then like I have them on like one social media just in case.
Just in case of what?
I don't know. You tell me.
That's in case I suspend the block.
Just in case.
That's just in case. It's a Friday. He's like, oh damn, I ain't got.
That's not a crime, okay?
Nah, I hear it still. Closure.
Come on. I don't believe in that stuff.
Closure's not real, bro.
Closure's not real.
LOL. Nah, I hear it still. But yeah, no, that makes absolute sense to be honest. These are already hit blunts, man. These are. Let's come.
He said your blunts a week. That's what I'm saying. That's what he said.
Give me a better roll up, man.
I said these edibles ain't shit. That's what he said, bro.
And that's when I took it personally. I'm joking. I'm trying to think. Do I have like a really, really good one?
I got some couple in the bank. If you want me to.
Read yours.
Okay, cool.
Because I don't think I have anyone that'll make you guys start tripping.
Nah, do you know what it is? I don't think this one is tripping, but it's basically. Oh, did I read this out with Rambo? No, I didn't. I said, okay, cool. This one, yeah, it's a question. If nothing is impossible, then would it be possible for something to become impossible?
If nothing is impossible, then would it be possible for something to become
impossible?
No.
Nah, because nothing is impossible.
Sorry, so what was I'm trying to think of the
because nothing is impossible.
Is it possible for something to become impossible?
Nope, because nothing is impossible.
So, wait, I'm saying nothing is impossible, yeah?
If nothing is impossible, is it possible for something to become impossible? No, because nothing is impossible.
But then, doesn't that mean that if nothing is impossible, then it is very much possible that another thing can become impossible?
No.
Because there is never a possibility that is just out of the question. Do you know what I mean? That's impossible. There's no sort of probability, no sort of maths that can justify this event ever occurring. So if you take that out of the equation, that means that there's also a possibility that things can also become impossible.
I hear it. I actually hear it.
What do you hear?
I hear it.
Translate.
Listen. If nothing is impossible, is it possible for something to become impossible? And we can't say no to that because nothing is impossible.
I guess.
So with that being said, there is a possibility
that something
can be impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So therefore nothing is truly impossible.
Yeah, that's a serious hit, but I feel like I need to deep that one.
Yeah, it's kind of deep, but it's kind of
spun you guys.
It's like Messi being like the GOAT in baseball or something. Like, it's not impossible, but
yeah, I mean MJ tried it.
It's not gonna happen.
Exactly.
No, interesting one.
That's 2 out of 3, unluckily. Because you said no.
Fairs.
That's all like, I know I'm gonna get him.
I hear it.
Since we gave you such a nice little reception before the hit blunts, let's just take this moment to introduce yourself. Tell the people basically who you are, what you do, Yeah.
Alright, cool. So I'm corporate Steve. That's what a lot of people know me as. I'm a corporate dropout.
That's a shout card. Yeah.
That's what I describe myself as a corporate dropout. So I used to work in finance for about 4 years, and then I decided to quit my job to help other people get jobs. And that's basically what I do for a company that I founded, a consulting firm called Beyond Education, which is basically all about helping underrepresented talent, Black, Asians, gender gap, all of that stuff. Basically get opportunities in corporate, predominantly finance, technology, and professional services. That's kind of our bag. And shameless pluggy, yeah, we're now working with like a couple of employers at the moment, and basically like connecting them with underrepresented talent. And I've been doing that full time for about 4 months now, like full time. But I kind of was running it as like a community when I was working in corporate. So yeah, that's pretty much me, to be honest.
So where did you get the idea of starting Beyond Education? Like, obviously, because you said you went to uni yourself, and you studied what, by the way?
I studied banking and finance.
So
Counting the fence, I feel.
Yeah. Literally, I was always in all the accounting and finance like classes as well. I think there was only like some distinction. Like we just didn't do like the core accounting modules because that's so long.
So like now that you've seen like the difference between obviously going to uni, getting a corporate job, and now where you're, I guess, an entrepreneur, and I'll say that recently we had the chance of working together.
Yeah.
Apprenticeship talk. Would you go back and do an apprenticeship, or?
Yeah, I'll definitely do an apprenticeship because I feel like the route to get like a lot of jobs. So when I was in college, I want to say back in my day, but I'm actually not even that old. But when I was in college,
I was gonna say back in the 80s,
like apprenticeships were just like there weren't really corporate apprenticeships. If you wanted to do an apprenticeship, it was like plumber, electrician, all that kind of stuff. And to be honest, like teachers kind of, and I'm not saying this, but teachers made it a stigma that if you wanted to do an apprenticeship, you were dumb.
Yeah.
Because those are the only things that are available, like the manual labor jobs. So in my head, it was just like, oh, uni is a thing. And to be honest, like there wasn't really that much advocacy for apprenticeships back then. It was kind of like a fleet. I think I heard it like once by accident.
Yeah.
And it was kind of associated with because you know there's a difference between going to like a sixth form like CTK and then going to Lewisham College.
Yeah.
So it was always like, oh yeah, like Lewisham College lot, like they do the apprenticeships. That was kind of the vibe. So it just wasn't really attractive per se. And obviously coming from like an African household, it was always like a uni is the motive kind of thing. So that's kind of the path I was just like pushed down. But now in this day and age, there's like a degree apprenticeship for anything and everything in corporate.
Yeah.
So if I was to go back in time, if I had known that, I definitely would have done a degree apprenticeship because I wouldn't be in debt. For starters, I'd get into the world of work quicker. And yes, uni was a good experience because of partying, making friends too tough. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm not really friends with half of the people that I went to uni with, even more than half. So I don't think it was that deep, anyways. So yeah, if I was to go back in time, I'd definitely do a degree apprenticeship, like easy. And whenever like people ask me about doing degree apprenticeships, I try not to give them like advice like this is what I think you should do. But I just always tell them if I was to go back in time, I know I would pick degree apprenticeship. So yeah.
Okay, so can you talk to us about your corporate Steve TikTok page? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, that when I first saw it, obviously I know you, but then I was like, this guy looks very familiar, and I was like, Steve wasn't Steven, nah, but that's Steven. So then I was like, I don't know why, but when it comes to like shorter names, I don't always make the connection.
Make the connection.
And I was like, oh, this is Steven. So like, what made you start doing the whole content creation on that, and I guess giving people advice through TikTok?
Yeah. So this is like a Kanye moment kind of story.
Okay.
So when I was in uni, decided to buy a camera. Yeah. Like I was like, I'm gonna buy a camera and I'm gonna document my life. And the reason I'm gonna document my life is because one day when I'm a billionaire, they're gonna want to make a documentary about me and they're gonna need these files. So I'm literally gonna start documenting my life. That's the reason why I got a camera. And I was kind of into fitness back then as well. So I was like, I'm gonna make YouTubes and just basically talking about my life. And I literally have all these videos of when I was in uni in my bedroom, like stressing about like just random shit, like stressing about dissertation, all that kind of stuff. So that was the reason why I started like filming my life kind of thing. And then fast forward to graduating uni, I wasn't really feeling the fitness thing anymore because it just wasn't really me. And my life was really busy. I was working in corporate kind of thing. And that was like a big part of my identity as well. I was one of the few people that graduated in my year that I knew was working in corporate. And at the time, I thought that was mad, innit? Because I thought everybody just graduated and got a job. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So anyways, it just became a big part of my identity. Like everyone knows, oh yeah, Stephen. Like, and I was working for like an American firm. They were flying me out every year. So like it was it was like a big deal kind of thing. I was like a superstar coming out of my uni. So anyways, one time I link up with my friend. Exactly. One day I link up with my friend and she's just like, Corporate Steve. Back then my name wasn't Corporate Steve as well. Like it was some. I think it was called Flex like Vert. I think that's what it was called because I liked Lil Uzi Vert. Like,
now we see it.
I think it was called Vert. Like, I was obsessed with Lil Uzi Vert. Anyways, yeah, she was like, Corporate Steve. Like, she just called me that randomly because I work in corporate. I was like, kind of like that. So I literally just went to go change my name on every like social media platform I was on to just Corporate Steve, innit?
Okay.
And then like it started to kind of suit me more because I was like, okay, this is actually me. Like, this is what I do. And the thing is, I've always just been one of those people where, like, again, since getting the camera, I just document, like, what I'm doing. When I was on Snap, literally every day, there's always a story. So when I was on Instagram, like, and I'm like, bro, I'm so unhinged. Like, I remember, like, my first job, I'll be snapping, like, my manager.
People like that who have the confidence to do, I don't
Bro,
know.
I was so tapped, bro. Like, this is, like, a big American company. I think it was even one time he was like, Steven, you can't do that. I was like, hey, like...
Must have Steven, I need this fast. Hey!
No, bro, like, so, like, I was documenting my life, like, every day. Like, people, like... I was saying this, like, I was chatting to some girl the other day and I was trying to, like, get to know her and stuff. And she was like, I was trying to just tell her, like, a bit about me. And she was like, Steven, I know, because, so, like, everything's on socials, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, you can literally know my whole life from socials, innit?
Yeah.
So, I was kind of, like, doing that a bit. And then, it just got to the point where, like, I was kind of, like, making content here and there. And then fast forward to, like, making content on TikTok. I think it was last year. At the start of last year, I was like, you know what, I'm going to be consistent on one platform and I'm just going to make content. And that was like when I had started Beyond Education, and I'll talk about that if you ask me later. But I started Beyond Education and I was like, I want to make content to help as much people as possible. So I was like, okay, last year I was like, every day I'm going to post content, that kind of thing, innit? And I just stuck it out and I was just posting content every day. And I didn't miss a day. I think I posted like 436 videos.
Damn.
It's either 436 or 536 videos last year on TikTok alone. Yeah. So I was like,
really grinding.
And it's so funny because I started TikTok initially, then I deleted it because I was like, this thing is dead and it's like,
I'm not shaking my hips.
I'm not dancing. And then my friend was just like, nah, Steven, like, you need to go at it again. So I was just like, yeah, fine. And then luckily Corporate Steve was available on TikTok as well. So I just like started and I was like, yeah, boom. And then I just kind of got into like a cadence and now like I haven't really missed a day too tough like posting content.
That's crazy. Because that's like, I feel like people wouldn't, you know, like when you go on TikTok and you come across these pages and you're like, oh, these guys got like 10K, 20K, whatever. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, well, you know, sometimes they like it, sometimes they don't. Yeah. But it's crazy because you said 500 or 436 videos in the space of a year or whatever. That's like, it's not just doing that as in recording it 400 and 506 times, because I'm pretty sure some of those videos was like, it might not have been, not all videos are one take.
No, not at all.
And
not
then
at all. Not
editing that as well.
Yeah.
Like,
also, like, I was quite like, I was in like my infancy stages of like making content as well. So like, I would say like now, I feel like I could call myself a content creator because like I kind of know what I'm doing. Like there's a whole thought process behind how I make content, all that kind of stuff. But back then I was just like recording stuff, like, you know what I mean? So like I was very rubbish at making content. But I think what a lot of people don't understand is that when you do something for 536 times, you get good at it. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So yeah, but it was long. Like there's 500. I could have probably like hit 10K or whatever trivial number or grown faster on TikTok if I made less videos with what I know now. Yeah. Because now, like, for example, I have like 15K followers and it took me like 2 weeks to get to like from 7K to 10K because I got better. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, as you get better, like you kind of know what you're doing and stuff. But yeah, lot of trial and error, I guess. And a lot of time. Time's
definitely the best teacher, especially like, as you're going through the corporate world more, you have more information, you're researching more. Like, as time goes on. Yeah.
And I think what a lot of people, and you guys can probably tell me as well, to be honest, but I feel like the reason why a lot of people buy into like what I do is because the stories are like personal and they're real. I don't feel like I'm an average career content creator. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like some people would tell you, oh, here's what to do in an interview, and I'll tell you, here's how to fuck up in an interview. Like that's kind of like that's kind of like my take on it. Or I'll tell you a story about how I messed up in an interview because I feel like that's like authentically me kind of thing. So that's what I try to like bring.
And I
to
feel
the
like that's
table.
just better because like there's like a million websites on how to ace an interview, how to ace your CV, but then people don't say like, okay, these are the things that you shouldn't do.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I
yeah.
did it, and this is how it turned out.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah, and that's why.
Yeah,
That's
same.
why I kind of felt as well because like going on TikTok, like there's a lot of people making career content and stuff, but I don't feel like a lot of people really make it the way I make it.
Yeah.
And then I just also like, I don't really like to think I just make career content, which is kind of what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to like make more of me. So on my bio, like you'd see, I always say I'm the niche because it's literally whatever I'm doing, innit? So it's like tap into that or don't. That's your own business.
Go on, ring to.
I think the best thing about your content is like when you're actually in the corporate world. Because me, obviously, I'm planning on going into it as well. So when I watch your content, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm definitely not doing that anymore. Definitely not doing this. Because when you're like, how to know whether you're the waste man at work. When I say I took notes, I think I even saved that video on my phone.
That's what it was like.
I will not be this man.
Now, you know what's so funny about that video? I made that video and someone must have commented, and when you do find the waste, take advantage of it. He said something like, one must find a waste man and thus take advantage of said waste man. I was like,
And it's the game's the game, man.
I was like, you're gonna go far. Because that's application.
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
learning the theory and then there's applying the knowledge. Because you know, like when you're doing maths, like learning theoretical maths is different from actually like solving the problem. To solve the problem, you actually have to apply the knowledge and you have to like figure out how to apply it. That was like a perfect example because bro, from all the information I took, he was like, he saw all of that and he was like, nah, how can I use this to my advantage?
That's the manager. That someone's gonna be someone's manager like a year.
Bro.
He's gonna take over. Like that.
He's gonna be the CEO or something like that in a couple of years.
Nah, yeah. So I literally have like a similar video coming out about. Wait, I can't swear on this, can I?
No, you can't.
Yeah, I literally have a similar video about how to know if you fucked up an interview.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
and it's like, no one would tell you that. They're
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
Because
Like,
if you see interviews you mess up, they'll be nice. Like they'll be
Exactly.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
we really
Yeah,
enjoyed your time. Thank you.
yeah,
We'll make sure to get back to
nah,
you.
yeah, but
Then
there's like,
they're gonna
but
ghost you,
obviously
mate.
because I've worked in corporate for 4 years, like, and I've done a lot of interviews, like, and I haven't gotten a lot of jobs, and I just sat down and I was like, damn, why didn't I get all these jobs? And I started like putting down all the clues as to like what they did in the interview to let me know I didn't get the job. But again, like people don't really make content like that too tough, innit? But that's just like my weird way of deciphering like career content to make it a bit more relatable and not make it really serious, because you know, like I could easily just come and be like, here's what you need to do in an interview process, but I don't really want to do that.
Do you know the video I really liked? Yeah, it was the one where you're like, because funny thing is, it was like, I think this happened to me 2 weeks prior to seeing your video, and I was like, this nigga don't miss. It was I think it was like something like when you see the token black SLT member at the Christmas party, and he's like, damn. What do you do? And I was like, it's true. Cause like, usually with black people, like you see each other, you might give them a little nod, especially in the working world or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, this guy is just screwing me. Like, I mean,
no, and that's why like low key sometimes I'm kind of like, obviously I don't regret leaving corporate because I kind of like what I'm doing now, to be honest. But sometimes I'm like, oh damn, like I might not have enough stories like to tell anymore. Too tough, do you know what I mean? Because a lot of this stuff I'm making content on is literally stuff I've gone through myself. Do you know what I mean? Like shameless plug, like I'm working with LinkedIn at the moment, and one of the reasons why LinkedIn love working with me is because whenever they give me a brief, I literally like I'll make career content on like what I've been through kind of thing. So it's like a lot more believable and people buy into it more because like, like, damn, he's gone through it too tough. So whereas like now obviously I'm not in corporate anymore, so like there's only so much stories I can make too tough. But
like, I gotta go back for 2 years.
Literally. But that's one of the reasons why I said I'm the niche, right? Because I feel like a lot of people buy into my content because of me.
Yeah.
So I think that's why as a content creator, you kind of have to always like continually like reinvent yourself. But at the same time, just recognize that people, if you don't focus on like a niche per se, like, and people are always buying into you, then you're never really gonna run out of content. It's all about you, like, do you know what I mean?
It's whatever you feel like saying rather than that
Exactly.
niche. Like
Exactly.
eventually you do run out of things in that niche. Like eventually.
Exactly, and that's why like I don't limit myself to a niche. Like 1 minute I'm talking about like career content and stuff I've gone through. Another minute I'm talking about my journey as an entrepreneur and stuff like that. Another minute I might be talking about dating, and that's just like
So
my vibe.
the Silicon Valley Bank one, I like that video as well.
Yeah,
You break
exactly.
that
Oh
down.
yeah, the one.
So that was like a perfect example of me like reinventing stuff, right? So like I thought to myself, okay, cool, I might start running out of these ideas of like all the stuff I've done in corporate. Let me break down corporate news because I feel like I know how to dumb down stuff a little bit. So stuff like that. So I just try to do like little things to just like reinvent myself because, sorry, I know I'm talking a lot, but
That's cool.
Lovely.
one of the things that I think is really important. One of the things I think is really important is having range, and I feel like I have good range. And the reason I say this is because I was doing those videos. So you know when I wanted to interview and you were like, you want to ask me how much salary I make?
Oh yeah.
So a good typical strategy on TikTok is you find something that works and you just rinse it. Just do it and just make it your thing forever. And initially I was like, this is going to be my thing. I'm just going to literally rinse it because a lot of people like that stuff does engagement. It grows my page. Perfect. But I got humbled because I was like, okay, you know what? Let me go to the city and let me go interview people. And people just don't want to be flipping interviewed. Like, they don't want to do that. And I remember I was asking for tips, right? And that experience, like literally I spent like 2 hours in London Bridge and no one wanted to chat to me, bro. Everyone was just like, go
especially
away.
London, like everyone's just trying to make
Everyone's just trying to move in it.
To,
you know what I mean? And I think that point was when I realized that, oh, this is a sign. This can't be it. Like, Stephen, you're actually better than that. You have range. Like, you can make content on a lot of things and you don't need to like, you know, just like find one thing and like rinse it. So for example, I feel like I have range. I can do like funny videos. I can do skits. I can talk about anything. Do you know what I mean? So I think that just made me realize that I am the niche. Like, talk about whatever you want, bro. Like, and it's fine. So yeah.
And it's true to be honest, because even like, because I've followed your page for a while, and it's like you've gone from like the videos where at first, obviously, like you do. Well, this is how I'm saying how I saw like your content.
Yeah.
Obviously, talking about work stories, and then talking about how to stand out on LinkedIn and that sort of stuff. And then it'd be like every once in a while you'd see I can't remember that you're basically your road, when you do that little paparazzi. That's funny.
Exactly, and I think that's the importance of having range, right? Because I feel like, I don't know, like, I just feel like making this content thing really allowed me to just like dig into like my main character syndrome a lot more. So the way I see it, it's like I have a show and I'm like on TV. And people don't like watching the same thing on TV again and again, at least on like one channel. Do you know what I mean? Some people love doing it. They dive into one thing. But I think for me, I basically want to have a bunch of shows. So you come onto Corporate Steve's channel 1 minute, you're like, oh, I like good skit. Okay, the next hour it's like, okay, educational content. The next hour is this. And I think even now I'm taking it one step further and I'm trying to reinvent myself on every single platform. So for example, on TikTok, it's like funny guy, quite like animated, very hysterical. But then on Instagram, it's a bit more aesthetic, like, you know, just updates on like my life kind of thing, nice pictures. Then on Twitter, you guys don't even want to know what I post on Twitter. I post some like really dark stuff. I post like some philosophical stuff, right? That's like just a bit.
You know how he got really quiet there? He said, I post some real dark stuff.
Like, do you know what I mean? And then on like,
so let's go through your
then on YouTube, I'm trying to do like you know, like podcast kind of content. You see me interact with other people, and then LinkedIn, I'm a bit professional. But I think what that does is that if you want to search up Corporate Steve on any platform, you get like a different person every time. And I think I always think about like the audience and how like sick that would be for them. Like you don't get the same person. So for me, I'm really thinking about like the experience of like the viewer as a whole across all the different platforms kind of thing.
I said, born alone, die alone. Uninspired. Jesus Christ.
I didn't want to share. I didn't want to mention it. Like,
but I said, but still getting it done regardless. No one is coming to save you.
It's so funny how you said that, because like literally one of my content creator friends, she wants to message me. She was like, she DM'd me when I posted that. She was like, Stephen, like whoever hurt you, just block them now. Like,
honestly, like, it's not even worth it, my bro.
I said, born alone, die alone.
Bro, that's why
that is a samurai.
That's why he's going to gym at 6 a.m. You don't think I see you, bro?
No, 6 a.m. isn't the unhinged time.
No, this guy's bicep
midnight is not.
Yeah, no, midnight is quite tapped.
Yeah, when you got. Oh my gosh, when I'm stressed in life, 1 a.m. It's me and the guys, man. I know what all fighting demons together, man.
Nah, yeah, but that's pretty much like my approach to like content and stuff. I just wanna, because I just kind of like, when I started making content, I realized I was a bit creative. So now I'm just trying to like just explore that creativity as much as I can. But yeah. Don't know how we got here, sorry.
No, it's cool. So one of the final things I was going to touch on was, so obviously you said that you were in corporate for 4 years, and obviously I think we can all agree, all of us being Nigerian as well, that in the African household, it's like, and I don't like saying this all the time, because then I was like, oh, in this African household, we can't do this, we can't do that. But it's
we sound like very restricted, like we're prisoners.
You know what I mean?
Our parents aren't that bad. Like.
Exactly, they're not. But obviously it's like the norm that's expected of us to, you know, go to school, go university, get a good job, and, you know, work so you're at the top of your career field or whatever. So how was it breaking it to like your parents saying that, look, obviously I went uni, I did the corporate thing, but I'm not trying to do that.
And I'm gonna boast online that I'm unemployed as well.
Yeah, and I have a company that I'm actually gonna pursue.
That's a very good question, man, because no one's actually asked me that too tough. So my mum was weirdly a lot more supportive than I thought, to be honest. And the reason why I say that is because I don't know, I don't want to speak for all African parents, but I feel like they attach like our success to theirs. That's why like they tell all their family members that, oh, you're doing well and da 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 da. So I think when I graduated, especially like, you know, I graduated the first class, I was working this American job. Like my mum told every single person on earth, do you know what I mean? Because that's like her baby, like she da 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 da. So obviously when I said, yeah, I'm throwing away that success and that dream that you've, that you have, and I'm gonna go, I'm like, it's actually quite mad. Do you know what I mean? I've literally like ruined my earning potential for a decent amount of years, throwing away like the career that I built in the last 4 years to go and do something that may not work, innit? So obviously when I told her that, she's like, what are you on? She's like, you know what I mean?
Graduate Steve, what do you mean?
Yeah, she was like, but I think I had to kind of like, so the reason I'm saying they're really attached to our success is because initially she was like, are you sure? My mum's not really like AF per se, but she was just like, are you sure? Like, I'm really worried, And I just said to her like, look, my success and your success is different. I was like, if I flop, this has nothing to do with you, bro. Like, that's on me. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And I was like, it's just going to help if I have your support, like, and I'd really appreciate that. And I think when I kind of posed it to her like that, like, bro, like, I'm going to be good regardless, you know what I mean? If this thing doesn't work, I can actually just go back to work. Like, what good is it me making a platform to help people get jobs and I can't go get a job if this flops? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? So I was like to her, like, bro, like, it's not that deep, I'll just go get a job. And I kind of just made her understand that this isn't that deep in the grand scheme of things. And I tried to tell everyone, like, everyone thinks I'm doing something really amazing. People quit their jobs every day. People, like, quit their jobs to do sexier tech companies every day. Do you know what I mean? So honestly, this is not that deep. And I think I just tried to like remind her of that. And then she was kind of like good. And she's just like been supporting me from a distance kind of thing, innit? Yeah. My dad, on the other hand, I didn't think he would take it the way he took it. Like, he was really angry. I thought he was the one that was going to be supportive. So he was like, you're throwing your life away. You know, like, you're supposed to work and get a house and da-da-da-da and this, that, and the third. And I think he said something like, you know, if you get a house, you're going to be good. And I said to him, like, Dad, like, you do realize if I get a house, I'm just in debt and I have to work forever. Like, like, do you know what I mean? And he was like, oh, like, you know, I've never really seen it like that. I was like, yeah, Dad, like, everybody that gets a mortgage, they have to work now. Because they have a mortgage. Yeah.
I remember when I was in, it wasn't a lot of credit card debt, but I was in a small amount. Like, if I worked a couple shifts, I'll pay it off. Yeah. But I actually thought about it when I went into work one morning. I was like, I have to be here.
You know,
like, it's not like I can say I'm ill. Like, I have to work today or else I can't get this off. Like,
yeah, like, do you know what I mean? And I think
the mortgage is 100 times.
And I know you're thinking about that, right? Because you're thinking, oh, getting a mortgage, like, that's the. But it just depends on like your perception and how you look at it. Me personally, I used to glamorize like home ownership, and I wanted to like get on the ladder and But I think as I started evolving and like my motivation started changing, and I was like, you know what, I want to go into this entrepreneurship thing, that became less attractive to me, because if I knew that if I got a home, then I would be bound to have to maintain a certain lifestyle to like keep that home. So in my head, I was like, bun that, because I had to tell my dad, like, home ownership, Dad, is just about saving money and buying a house. I was like, I can do that anytime I want. All I need is just stable income. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. And I think when I think it was just about explaining my thought process to them to make them understand what I was on. Then eventually he was like, you know, yeah, I get it, I'll support you kind of thing. But initial reactions were like, what the hell are you doing type thing. Yeah. Like, what's wrong with you?
Because in their mind, they have a clear plan. So if you don't present a plan that's just as clear, then you're like, what is going on? Yeah. And even if you're the most talented person ever, it's like, what are you doing? Yeah,
and the thing is, like, I don't even feel like I think I just kind of told them, because again, like, mental health is like so frowned upon as well, like in the African household, and they don't really get it. But it's like, bro, like, there was no amount of money they were paying me to stay in corporate. Again, too tough. And it's just because me personally, I was kind of over it. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's not like corporate is a bad place, because there are a lot of people that thrive in corporate. I mean, heck, I'm helping people get into corporate. You know what I'm trying to say? But I think for me, it was just like, bro, like, there's no money you're paying me. I don't want to stay here anymore. This is what I want to do, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And I think it was just explaining to them that, look, I'm good. I have my savings. I'm doing what I need to do, kind of thing, and I'm grinding it out. And bro, if it doesn't work out, I'll literally go and get a job. Do you know what I mean? And that was kind of just where it is. And I've kind of given myself a time limit of when I'm gonna do this thing. And yeah, God willing, we're gonna do it, man.
Amen. Yeah. It's funny because I think I had something similar when I told my mum that I wasn't gonna go uni. I was kind of dumb about it, because I knew I wasn't gonna go uni before I'd like done the UCAS stuff and all that. But I didn't know what I was gonna do. So when I told her, I was like, Mum, I can't lie, I don't think I want to go uni. And she switched. She was just like, would you?
Mm.
And then after coming, she's like, okay, you know what? It's not the end of the world. What are you going to do? But because I was scratching my head saying, fucking, I was like, she was like, do you know what? Do the UCAS, and then if you don't want to do uni, like, if you want to go into work, just make sure you know what you're doing, and then do whatever. And then obviously, I got an apprenticeship. Well, I found apprenticeships, and then I told her, oh, look, this is the thing. And she said, okay, you know what? It's good. You have a plan. But I feel like for some people, they don't, not that they don't have the confidence, but it's just like, maybe they're not too set on what it is that they want to do, and maybe the fear of your parents not supporting you, because like you said, for example, your mum, like, you were gonna do it regardless, but it'd be much nicer to have the support of your mum behind you.
I think so. Especially, I don't know, not to get really deep per se, but
Twitter Steve's coming out.
I just felt like support is ultimately what I needed, because I kind of grew up in like a broken household, right? So like, I feel like I've been navigating life independently for a minute, and I still am. Do you know what I mean? So in this moment where like I feel like it's gonna be like the loneliest moment of my life, like I need a bit of support. Do you know what I mean? I need people to be like, "You got this, bro." Even if it doesn't look like I have it, just, you know, and the people I need it from the most would be like
a little bit of elevation.
Ideally, it would be my parents, innit? Do you know what I mean? And I think, my mum, like, she does a great job, because like she doesn't understand what the hell I'm doing. Like, she doesn't really know what my business is per se. So it's like she's just like, you know, God is well, God will guide you, and and that is good, innit? Do you know what I mean? Went out with my dad the other day, like he's like, you know, I know you got this, all that kind of stuff, and that adds up. It really helps. You know what I mean? Because there are times where you get self-doubt, and you just think back at, at least my mum supported me. It kind of keeps you going.
But I guess when you take these risks as well, you have to think like your parents are like stakeholders in you. Like, they're not like investors per se. So like, they can't just say, we're going to pull out all the funding, you're not going to be able to do anything. But they are like stakeholders in the sense they care about you. They do what you to do well.
Of course.
So like, obviously, when you said the confidence thing, it made me think like, you actually do need to be very confident in what you're pitching to the world, because if you're not, then the world would be like, there's been millions of geniuses that failed. Like, you need to be on your stuff.
Facts. You have to have like a level of irrational confidence. Like I made a video about this the other day. Like, you have to, like, one thing about me is that, I made a video the other day talking about irrational confidence, and it's just this thing where I genuinely feel like this is my world. I'm just allowing people to live in it. Like, I genuinely think like I'm just the main character. This is all my show, innit? Do you know what I mean?
I thought this was our show, but you know.
This is my show. And I think what that allows me
corporate Steve featuring Outchea.
Literally. And I think what that allows me to do is it allows me to just like progress through anything I do, just so like I just belong there. Like, it's literally my world kind of thing. And it's just this level of irrational confidence. So like, for example, when I came out of uni and I got a job and I found out that other people weren't getting jobs, I was like, I'm just going to make a platform to help everyone get jobs, because I did it. So like, everyone else should be able to do it, and I'm going to be the one to do it. Do you know what I mean? Or when people were telling me I can't get into private equity because I didn't get bank, and I was like, bet, I'm going to do it. And I feel like you need that in life, because if people had this energy, like, we would progress through life easier, I think. Or like, we'd get so many opportunities that we don't even believe we can get. And not to get political, but I feel like this is one of the reasons why our community, as a black community, sometimes we stagnate or we get left behind, because of some people are literally just like doing things. They don't even have the qualifications to do, but they're just saying, I flip it. They're just doing it and they're progressing. Whereas like us, we're like, you know, like, not really sure I want to do that, because there's not that much black people in there. Whereas like me, in my head, I'm thinking, I guess if there's not that much black people in there, I'm going to be the first black person to do it. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like if we just think with that main character syndrome and that level of irrational confidence, I feel like, like, we could all make it.
I think that goes really well into like the pay gap. I feel like that's why a lot of people don't ask for higher wages, or because a lot of the time, if you just ask and maybe they say no, if you just like keep asking or keep like negotiating, eventually you might even get something better or something else. Like,
but the thing is, like, at least it's even better to find out that they're gonna say no, because then that gives you like decisive action. So it's like, cool, they tell me no, I guess okay, now I know that they're not giving me a pay rise, so I'm gonna get it somewhere else, rather than not asking and then you never find out, and then you're just stuck in a job you hate for 20 years and then you don't get paid, and then boom, you just retire and you're unhappy.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
some of them cold niggas lives.
So yeah, that's what I think. But yeah,
I hear that. Just to touch on this last question, so you kind of basically did answer it in a way, why you started Beyond Education, but then I also want to ask you, what are the realities of being an entrepreneur? Because I feel like nowadays everybody wants to, oh my gosh, I want to do my own business, I want to do this, that and the third, but they don't realize that being an entrepreneur means that you're working not necessarily 24/7 but 25/8, because it's like, if you don't prepare for the next day, especially with, like, for example, Beyond Education, where you're working with clients and different companies and whatnot, if you're not preparing for these meetings in advance, you're going to go in there and, I guess, I don't want to say like with your dick in your hand, but
tank
it's
it.
like, like, what the hell am I going to do? So can you just like go over like the
I think entrepreneurship is like a bit overrated, because in this society, like, everybody just shits on like 9-to-5ers. Like, oh, you know, you're stuck in a matrix working for the man. And it's just like, shut up. Like,
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like, 90% of people in this world are going to be 9-to-5ers. And that's fine. Like, do you know what I mean? You don't need to like demonize people. Because think about it, if everyone was entrepreneurs, like, who's going to work who's going to come be your employee?
And you know, can I say something on that? Yeah, because that pisses me off so much. Like, do you know this pisses me off? But it's like, when people say, oh, what, 9-to-5, I could never do that. Okay, so what are you going to do? What are you going to do? 5 to 9?
Like, shut up, like, man. Just shut up.
You want to own your own business, okay, but then it doesn't make sense. Okay, like, it's because they say 9 to 5 is long, yeah, what, 8 hours in a day, cool. But then you want to be an entrepreneur who's working 24 hours,
bro. Like, did you get it? Did you get it?
And you don't get annual leave like that.
Don't get annual leave. Don't get sick pay. You don't.
If you're sick, you don't eat.
Like,
that's it. If I'm sick, I'm still good.
No,
I'm still good.
Dead ass. Like, a lot of people, like, bro, like, you don't even work. Like, 9 to 5 is actually a finesse.
Yeah.
It's actually a finesse. You don't work 9 to 5. You don't work hardcore every single hour of the day.
Okay, I got it.
Like, you know what I mean? You don't work hardcore.
This. I work. That's what I do. That is what I do.
Fire this man.
No, I'm bleeping it.
I work. I still get paid.
Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? And yeah, so going back to like your thing about entrepreneurship, yeah, I just think it's overrated in this society, and people shouldn't demonize like working 9 to 5. There are a lot of people that can become millionaires from working 9 to 5, and that's not even cap. Like, you know, you just need to pick the right industry. There are a lot of people making 6 figures from working 9 to 5. But yeah, realities of working, of being an entrepreneur, I think it's just hard. It's hard, bro. And I think it's hard because starting out, you have this vision in your head and this thing that you want to bring to life, right? And it's like, it's just you, bro. No one's coming to save you. And that's one thing I've kind of realized in entrepreneurship. No one is coming to save you. At the end of the day, it's literally just you. You know what I'm trying to say? And that's like the biggest battle, bro. Waking up and going to battle with yourself every single day.
Like, if you say, today I'm going to chill a bit.
Your bank account's like, ooh, I don't know about that.
Bro, do you know what I'm trying to say? So it's just you. And I think that's one thing I kind of realized, like, that's one thing I'm really struggling with at the moment, just realizing that it's just me and I'm the bottleneck right now at this starting stage, you know what I mean? So yeah, and that's something that you just, I was saying this to my friend yesterday, because I was kind of having this moment of just like self-doubt and thinking, oh my God, it's just me. And I can't lie to you guys, like, I hate wishy-washy advice. I hate people that coddle me and tell me, oh, you know, it's gonna be all right. Just take time, just relax, give yourself grace. I can't give myself grace.
Exactly.
I can't give myself grace because I can't afford that right now. Grace is way too expensive right now. I can't afford that. And I think what I've kind of like just accepted is that, bro, there's the grinding period, and I have to get used to being uncomfortable. I have to get used to these struggles. You know, I hate like a lot of entrepreneurs that have made it, because when they've made it, they'll tell you, yeah, you know, if I was to go back in time, I'll take time out, my mental health, all that stuff. But they only tell you that shit when they've made it.
Yeah.
When they're going through it, no one's telling them to rest.
Because if you take that time out, then it's like, oh, I missed that. Cool, but it's all right.
Yeah.
I'm a read for a little bit.
No.
I'm a snooze.
Yeah, exactly. You can't do that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So I think what I've kind of just learned is that, bro, it's gonna be hard, and you have to get used to that.
Yeah.
You have to get used to it. And I think that I really struggle with that a lot, because when I was working in corporate, I had like all these systems where like I could be really efficient and things just work so smoothly. And when I became an entrepreneur, I was kind of like, oh, why aren't things working smoothly? Because they can't. Because they can't.
You have to make it easier for
because
yourself.
they can't work smoothly, bro. Like they just can't. Sometimes you can't take a lunch break, and sometimes it's really busy. And sometimes if you need to do outreach to reach a certain amount of clients, like you're just gonna have to miss sometimes, and you can't get your 10 pages in a day or something like that. It just, you know what I mean? And it's not gonna be easy. And I think that's what I'm just like reminding myself every day. Because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Exactly.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? So I think the struggle, a long-winded way of answering your question, is just like realizing that, damn, this thing is actually not easy, and this is the struggle that I've put myself in, and just have to live with it. No one put a gun to my head to do this stuff.
It's self-inflicted at the end of the day.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? And I think just living with that every day is a bit hard. It's really hard, like waking up to do the same thing every day, like 5 to 6 days a week, you know.
Yeah, and seeing like the same amount of progress, like
sometimes no progress.
Yeah, or like it's not visible progress. You get what I mean? Like you're seeing like 0.1%, 0.1%.
Yeah, it's very hard. It's like borderline, like. And I'm fine, guys. I promise you.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
actually fine.
I saw a little gleam in his eyes. I was like,
we transition to Instagram Steve, or we stay with Twitter Steve?
I'm fine, but it's like borderline. Like you feel insane sometimes.
Yeah.
Like because I'm in my room, I'm in my head every single day. You know what I mean? Keeping a buck with you, I'm reaching out to a bunch of companies and getting told no again and again and again, getting aired again and again and again. And I have to wake up every day and do the same thing. Oh yeah, and then I also have to make content so that people see me and sign up to my website. And oh yeah, we have clients now, so I have to do that thing so like we can like get more people to their thing. It's like a lot. And I'm making content across all these platforms. It's a lot of work, you know what I mean? So and I think it's just realizing that it's gonna be a lot of work for a bit.
I think it's important to have people around you that actually understand that and understand that it's not all gonna be like roses and candy, because a lot of people will need to go through those grind periods. But then if they have too many people that are like coddling them and sugarcoating and everything, like, oh, don't worry, it's fine, you know, just take a nap, whatever.
Grace,
take
I hate that
nap.
Yeah, no, literally, and that's why, and yeah, it was a bit difficult because a lot of my friends like kind of work in corporate, and now in this period that I'm in, I'm kind of just distanced away from them, and it's not even like on purpose, but that's just what happens, you know what I mean? Because I'm on a different path now, but yeah, like. I've kind of found a few friends that are kind of in a similar space as well. So like, I made friends with like a couple of content creators that are kind of doing this full time and kind of doing business full time. So we like work occasionally here and there as well. And it's kind of just good to be around them, because when I'm telling them I'm struggling and stuff, they're like, yeah, well, I'm struggling too, and I'm struggling with this. So it's kind of nice, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, like I always hated the fact that when I spoke to my friends, they're just like, oh yeah, you know, take a break. Like, I can't take a break.
You know, sometimes I feel like slapping them when they say that, you know. I'm just like,
I can't take a break.
I want to slap you because it's like, it's not how can't you understand, but how can't you understand?
Yeah. Sometimes I just want to vent, bro. I just want you to listen.
Yeah,
like,
but you know, it's to give them, to play devil advocate a bit. Like, that's what they can say. Like,
yeah, I know.
They're never going to be able to be in your shoes, so like,
no, but
they're not going to tell you quit, so.
No. But it's like, I don't know, I feel like if you're, I'm not going to say if you are a good friend or whatever, but like, for example, if you were telling me, oh, like, you know, like, in fact, no, because, you have been telling me, like, oh, like, you know, how the uni workload has been going and da-da-da-da-da. And me, I would say, there's two types of responses I can give you. I'll give you one where it's like, well, talk to God about it, you know, because
I like that one.
I ain't going to say anything.
I like that one.
Just talk to God about it, simple as. Or I'll be like, you know what, try, you know, like, schedule it all out, so then you know, like, how much you have to do within a couple of days, and then from there, you'll be able to see, okay, you know what, maybe I can take 30 minutes or something. Do you know what I mean? Balance it out so that at least you get your stuff done, but you're not overwhelming yourself. Because I know some people that will just, for example, if they have 5 assignments, it's like, I need to do all 5 assignments in this day. Whereas
that's what
I mean, that's real practical advice, but like the demon side of me just wants to be like, shut the fuck up and just do it, bro.
Just get it all done tonight.
Like, just get on with it. Like, you put yourself here. And sometimes that's the advice I want to hear. No one forced me to do this thing, bro.
Especially when you prayed to be in a certain position. Like, for example, I prayed to get into university.
Do you get it?
So I shouldn't be upset now that I'm in university.
Do you actually get it, bro?
Like, I wanted to get here. So there was a point in time in sixth form where I wanted to be here. I wanted to get a degree. I wanted to do
Matter of fact, matter of fact, you probably grinded through sixth form so you could be here.
Yeah. You know what I'm trying to
and
say?
now you got to grind again, and now you want to like
to get to the next stage.
And it is exactly. Like, you know, I remember like praying about like doing this thing where I could like quit my job and stuff, and I did it. And I remember like I did it. LinkedIn came through, 5-figure deal, calm. Do you know what I mean? Now we have 3 clients. Like, I made like a decent amount of money in the last 3 months. Why the hell are you complaining, bro? Like, yeah, it's hard. Well, duh. Like, like, you know what I mean? But you wanted to be here. Now you're here.
Exactly. And you know, I always think of it like, so for me sometimes, I'll get overwhelmed when it's like, I have work that, I don't know why, but work are very bad sometimes, you know, because they'll be like, you know, I know this guy has uni as well. So let me get the work deadlines to the uni deadlines. And then it's like, I got to edit the pod as well. But then I got a board meeting on Monday. And I'm just like, sometimes I'll literally just stop. I'll look in the mirror and I'll just look at myself for like 2 minutes and imagine it being like, again, this might sound crazy, but you know the Diddy meme where he's looking at the guy on stage. I believe that's like, it's like me and God just looking at each other like,
You just like me for real.
like, I know I asked you this, but please, I'm Chris.
No. Facts. But yeah, that's like, that's just what it is. I mean, to give you like, I guess, practical reality.
Let's give some advice as well.
Because
for our friends who want to give us advice but they don't know what to say.
I think sometimes just be an ear.
Like
you don't even need to give advice. Just be an ear and just listen. But then, like putting it on the opposite side, I feel like me personally, now I'm just not going to those friends in it that can't relate.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because that's a difficult situation to kind of put them in as well.
100%.
So yeah, like I just kind of understand that, and I think sometimes just figuring your shit out, man. Just figuring your shit out. Reminding yourself that, look, you wanted to be in this position. There were times where you prayed to be in positions like this, you know what I mean? And just dealing with it, you know what I'm trying to say? So that's what I'm trying to do anyways.
I hear that.
Having friends for like the right type of things. Like some people can't just be all of those things.
They can't.
Because then they'll get overwhelmed and then now you
Exactly. And it's very and it's very selfish and irrational to think that you could just have that one friend that's just gonna boom.
Exactly.
They're not God.
Yeah.
And that's why I say talk to God about it.
Yeah. Nah, I like that. I like that advice.
But to sort of change the topic so slightly. So obviously you spoke about doing TikTok in the corporate world, and then now you're doing TikTok content creation now that you're a full-time entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about, obviously you guys have seen like the TikTok teacher, the John Wick guy. He makes me laugh.
Nah, he's funny as hell.
But what do you guys think of, like, I'm not gonna say the new era of teachers that are now like TikTok content creators, but like, for example, I saw some comments under his stuff that was like, oh, if I was a parent, I wouldn't like him talking to my kids like that. What do you guys view on that? Because I know sometimes in school, like you mentioned before, we had a couple of teachers that would G-check. It's not in the same way, but it kind of,
I mean, to be honest, like you can tell that. First of all, he's very familiar with the kids, and the kids are familiar with him. So it's not like he's. I don't think he's doing that to blow up on TikTok.
Yeah, you don't hear the kids running off crying.
Yeah, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you could tell he's cultivated that relationship with those kids, and they know that, oh yeah, Mr. John Wick is the one that's always that kind of stuff. Obviously, him being on TikTok now, that's just the day and age we're in, bruv. Everybody's filming everything, do you know what I mean? And this is just like his thing. So I think that's just where it is. In terms of parents complaining about it, how do you think your kids are talking to each other?
No. How do you think the kids are even talking to the teachers? Because I ain't gonna lie to you, okay, to be honest, it was a bad school. I did go to a bit of a bad school, but still,
bro.
Like,
you know what's so mad? It's mad that you say that. Obviously, you know I got shipped in it.
Yeah.
And when I came, and obviously, being shipped, like everyone's respectful to teachers, like bro, like chat teachers. I remember I came back here. I saw like there'll be kids flipping the tables.
Oh yeah, you came back same time as your brother, innit?
Exact same time as your brother. And I remember like I remember this was like my second day in school, and I saw someone like flip the table in class, walk out, and I was like, "Wait, is this real?"
Y'all niggas filming it?
Bro, I couldn't believe it. Like I was like, "Damn, like this is actually mad. Like this is actually."
You know when you speak to them, they're just like, "Yeah, like that's what happens when I get disrespected. Like it's prison or something."
Yeah. And I think
I get disrespected. I take it personally.
I'm just like, what? Is this real?
You know what I mean? Like flip the table, walk out, like tell teachers shut the fuck up, and I'm just like, damn, like this is like mad. So again, parents start saying that, like, bro, like just allow it. Don't.
Yeah, some of your kids are menaces, like.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
real menace.
Allow it. But I wouldn't let my kid talk. Your kid talks to you like that. Like
exactly, you know what I'm saying? Like,
people just want to complain about stuff.
Yeah, and when I look at that situation as well, it's like, would I rather a phone call home, or would I rather a teacher who would like bad up my child, but like at the end of the day, my child will come out with good grades. Learn to respect authority. Like,
exactly. Because like I'm thinking back to like even sixth form days, like year 12. I'm not saying I wasn't a menace, but it was like I was like Steve, thinking like this is my world. I'm just doing whatever the hell I want. But I was at the same time like, you know, maybe getting in trouble at occasion or whatever. But my mentor, Sace Holmes Lewis, at the time when he was in the school, he'd come to me like bro, like what you doing? Like he'll pull me to the side and whatever, and like G-check me in the same way. And it's just like, if you have someone there to pattern you up on a level that you understand, because like we all know that teachers speak another language when it comes to behavior and all that sort of stuff. Like, oh yeah, everyone put your hands up, silent order, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Guess what I mean? But then if it's like someone that's actually trying to chat to you on your level and actually just trying to like be real with you, you can respect it more, because it's like, you know what? I know you're not playing the textbook game. You're not doing the, okay, if a child does this, then say that.
Yeah. You're trying to chat to me on a level.
Exactly. And that in itself is a bit of respect. So it's like, let me actually listen to what they're saying.
Yeah, it comes across a bit more genuine and you're more receptive to it, because like, this person's speaking my language. So yeah, I think it's good. And in terms of them being on TikTok, it's a form of expression, and it's just the era that we live in. Do you know what I'm trying to say? If TikTok was back in the day, I'm pretty sure Mr. Wright and Sage probably would have been vlogging like their days, because
Mr. Wright definitely would have been.
Yeah, because they're those kind of, like, I thought them men were cool as hell, like in school. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So it's like they probably would have been doing that. It's just the day and age that we're in, and you know, they're just trying to find a form of expression. Same way, like I'm in corporate and I was like doing our vlogs and stuff like that. Like not many people were doing that at work, but again, to me, it's like a form of expression. So like I'm doing it. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
That's just where it is. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool, to be honest, and it's just the new age.
And there's even a flip to it, because there's other teachers. I can't remember his name, but he was like, it was on TikTok, and he was just basically posting himself interacting with his class.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
he's like year 3.
Yeah, he's quite famous, isn't it? Like he does like stuff with Premier League, like stuff like that. He's like legit. Yeah.
So he's gone from being a teacher who just filmed himself interacting with his
he's like
classes, and then he was on, what's the thing called, CBBC.
Yeah.
Now he's doing stuff with other companies, and like he's still got not necessarily like a full-time teaching job, but he still does what
and guys does. Like, I'm keeping a buck with you. Do you know how much they're paying like primary school teachers? It's not money.
Nope.
Especially for the amount of hours they work. Like.
Exactly.
Not money at all.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, like in primary school we're all very stupid. Like, we're all
that takes a level of patience.
Bro. Patience and understanding.
Patience I didn't have.
When there's the whore, it's who you're saying whore. Do you know what I mean? Like
because if you think about it, if they just give up on that child, then boy,
that child's finished.
It's like
those ages that matter.
No, really. So yeah. So again, it's like if you're people that are gonna be like, oh, they can't be on TikTok, like shut up.
Exactly.
Just shut up.
As long as they're not filming the child, maybe.
Exactly.
Maybe there's a line that they shouldn't be crossing.
If they're not filming the children, that's
and
fine.
not maybe swearing at them and run it, man. Just run it, man.
He's just no. The thing is, I think with that John Wick guy, I think he has a familiarity with like the kids. Like you could tell that's how he interacts with them. They know. It looks jokey as well. Like it's not. You know, like you could just tell. Like I can tell they're smiling.
And these are kids that are going into isolation, by the way.
Yeah.
So more time, these kids are really as well. Like
And do you know what it is? Yeah. It also depends on him as well, because like obviously you're mentioning like Mr. Wright, Mr. Holmes Lewis, and all those guys, yeah. But imagine if like can't remember, she used to be a Fed. Yeah, imagine if it was someone like her trying to chat to you like
she used to be a Fed.
Yeah, did you know?
I knew it, bro. Like, she's annoying. She's so
she was like head of year 12 or year 11.
She does look like a Fed to me. I can just imagine her holding like a thing like
because that's how she walked militant, bro. Like, and it's like if someone like that was trying to G-check you, you're like, bro, like what?
No, and I was never ever receptive to that.
Exactly,
never ever.
But if it's someone that's actually kind of cool,
whereas like remember Mr. T. The guy
yeah.
Literally,
exactly.
like, you know, whenever I'll listen all the time.
Exactly.
Because I know that this guy has my best interest at heart, chatting to me on a level kind of thing. Whereas whenever she came, she was like, you're up. Like, you're honestly an up.
Anytime I heard those what do you call it? It was the radio static or the keys and heels. That combo, I'm just like, come on, man. What's it? Fives here.
No.
Almost coming.
No, exactly. So, that's facts. That's facts. I think kids are more receptive to like teachers that they relate to a lot more and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not surprised that John Wick guy, Touchwood, he hasn't been sacked or anything.
Literally.
I feel like he's just doing his job.
Exactly. And then if he can like secure a bag by doing that as well.
Yeah. And I remember like I saw in the caption one time he was like, if you don't talk to these kids like this and you don't set the tone like this, that's how they're gonna disrespect you and walk all over you. I was laughing.
It's true. Because like even when you think about supplier teachers, you know from minute, do you know what it is? Kids, we're actually
manipulative.
Because when you see on Twitter, yeah, there'll be certain people be like, yeah, we used to make all the supply teachers cry, and they're saying, I would never let my teacher talk to my child like that.
Like,
you were the problem, bro.
Exactly, bro. Like,
This is why we need this.
I'll be so real, yeah. This wasn't my class and it wasn't me. But like, no.
I just have a bird's eye view. I didn't know how was
I was just observing.
No. But like, big man thing, it wasn't my tutor or whatever. But like, I can't remember which one of them. Like, he's not my mandem now, but it was someone I was cool with in school. And I remember him saying something like, "Oh yeah, like Miss is going on sick leave." I said, "Oh, why?" She's like, "Oh, something wrong with her heart." I was like, "What do you mean her heart?" But I'm thinking back, I'm always hearing her screaming down the corridor to these men in the tutor class, and apparently that was the reason why.
That's
And I
such a
was-
cool high blood pressure.
Bro.
Oh my God.
So I was like, and the thing is, these are like say 8 niggas.
Yeah.
So like, man's like joking about it. I'm thinking like, I heard it, but I didn't hear it
Yeah.
until after he left. I was like, wait, this guy is actually like this is
Joking about
crazy.
like, yeah, it's mad.
Like,
No, but
kids
these
are
are the type
actually
of the guys,
mad.
like, if she had a stroke in that lesson, you'd be busting out laughing.
Yeah.
That actually, you know what? This was my class, innit? But it wasn't me. Basically, yeah, it must have been maths. No, it must have been maths, yeah. And we had this, she was like a new teacher, basically. And I don't know till this day, no one knows what happened to her. All I know is that I think the class was a bit loud. It was like just after lunch, so people are still coming in. And then she dropped to the floor, started shaking, bruv.
Damn.
Like
That's
she
mad.
had like a fit, like a proper fit.
That's mad.
And I was like, huh? I remember being so rattled. I remember some of the girls were screaming, ran out to the class, started for like Mr. Dockery and all those guys. And I remember some people in the back laughing. I'm thinking, bro, like, how are you
yeah,
laughing,
shit,
bro?
yeah.
Like, this is
But that's how you know
real life.
some people just didn't have home training, man. Some people are tapped. Some people are tapped, man.
Bro.
It's so mad though, because I actually want to be a teacher. Like my retiring job that's what I want it to be. Like I want to be a teacher. I want to be a business studies teacher. So my plan now is learn, yeah, and take from the worlds, making as much money as possible, being a businessman, doing whatever, and then basically give back, right? So give back all I've learned and all that kind of stuff. And the reason why I want to be a business studies teacher is because I just feel like when I was doing business, like business studies teacher didn't have a business, so it just didn't feel like it was really relatable per se. So yeah, that's why I want to do it.
You gotta have a good business. Remember Mr. What's my man's name, bro? He's always smiling. Now you know what I'm talking about, innit?
Yeah,
I can't remember his name, but that
He's
guy
a science teacher.
No, he was a business teacher because for some reason
I
at the
think it's economics.
was it econ? No,
Boy, year
no,
12.
we had business together. Yeah, in year 12.
Yeah, he was not a serious man.
And man was trying to tell me he has a business. I'm like, like, this guy that's always laughing and smiling,
He was funny.
bro. He'd be laughing and smiling for no reason.
Yeah, that's weird. I had a teacher like that as well in school. He was a science teacher there. But
You know,
If you guys like that, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to be up to date with all of our releases. And tune into the whole episode now on Spotify and Apple.